Alright, we are live. Has anyone been indulging in Starfleet Academy yet? Or has it not come out yet with us?
Not yet, no. I'll probably end up buying the Blu-ray when it comes out.
It's passable so far, I'm finding. Jury's still out.
Yeah, I'm hearing fairly good things.
I'm hearing fairly bad things too. Sorry, Liz, go on.
I haven't watched it yet, but no, I've heard some good things from people that that don't focus on, oh no, there's a gay character.
Oh no, Star Trek is woke? When did that happen?
So yeah, no, I'm hearing, it sounds like it's good, minus,
Silliness.
people who can't get past hate.
Quite. In fact, I don't think that's been put so eloquently ever.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. I'm going to use
Sounds
that.
like the show's doing something right.
Quite. Exactly. I mean... Whilst... Right, anyway, so folks are logged in, seeing everything they expect to see, can access their character sheets. And those who want to hear Sirenscape can actually hear something. He says, pausing for confirmation.
Yes. Yeah, it's all good on my end.
Right. Testing a couple of rolls. Okay, groovy. Right then, so if you'll excuse us,
I got
folks...
rid of a good roll. That's gonna come back to bite us now.
Yeah, get your good rolls out of the way now, while no one can see them.
Mm.
Right, let me play the intro video for you folks, and we'll be back in a couple of seconds. Excuse us. Welcome folks, along to the continuing adventures of the USS Combs. I am MJ the GM, and I will be your Games Master for the next few hours, and with me are most, but not all, of the Combs/Do Qe'Bach crew. The captain of the Do Qe'Bach will be along shortly when she can, but until then, let's take it away from my silly face and get you to what you actually want to see. Ah! Speak of the captain, and thy doth appear.
Hello.
Well, of course, before we jump straight into that, I'm just going to, as usual, point out our usual plug to the Utter Crisp Gaming channel on YouTube.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, so production on the next review is under full swing now, actually. Been recording more recently, writing a bit more. And actually, after this stream today, I'll be guest starring on a podcast that I've mentioned him before in my videos. There's a fella called Water Surf on YouTube. He's going to be interviewing me as part of his series where he sort of just talks to smaller YouTubers and things like that. So I'll be recording that this afternoon, and then that'll be up at some point. So besides my usual self-indulgence, check out the Water Surf, sort of spelled how it sounds, YouTube channel as well in the coming days, especially.
Spiffing. We shall tag along to that, most definitely.
Thank you.
Plug and promotion done. Let's jump back to why we're actually here, which is the the individual ship crews of Narendra Station were all summoned because there's evidence to suggest that the Romulans were crossing the neutral zone in order to try and approach the Candidate 3 system, which was the system where the creature known as Assessor Tredic was apparently a custodian of sorts. It wasn't quite obvious what the Tredic's task or rank or whatever was on this planet, but nevertheless appears to be in command or overseeing a planet with telecal technology on it. Requested help from you guys before asking to repair a damaged comm device, but now seems to have actually thrown you a telepathic distress signal the moment your ships entered into the Candidate 3 system. And if I move us to the Candidate 3 system map, we can see just what kind of a pig's ear is going on currently, because not only is this a system replete with dangerous gravimetric and tetryon emissions that cause all sorts of havoc with gravity waves spouting at random and tetronic disturbances making it difficult for scanners and such like, but a wormhole opened, disgorging a planet from elsewhere in the Shackleton Expanse, and it is now being drawn into the gravity field of the Candidate 3 planet, and therefore on a collision course. Not only that, but the tetronic emissions and gravimetric waves have allowed a quartet of Romulan Warbirds to be made obvious, as cloaking devices are apparently failing, at least on the Romulan side of things, which allows you to see that the Romulans are on a course for the Candidate 3 planet themselves, no doubt to plunder its technology. Now, we arrived in a fleet of 3, the USS Venture, Galaxy-class ship, the USS Thunderchilde, which is an Akira-class ship, and you chose to bring along your Klingon ship, the Vorcha-class attack cruiser IKS Do Qe'Bach, and its Klingon crew. But it's Starfleet, Helm Officer. So, the task you appointed yourselves was that the Do Qe'Bach was going to try and hold off the Romulans, even though you really are heavily outnumbered here. Meanwhile, the Galaxy-class ship, the Venture, is going to try and dampen or interfere with the energy forces, mostly gravity forces, coming off of that incoming planet in order to try and stave off destruction for just long enough that the USS Thunderchilde can get within orbit of the Candidate 3 planet and disgorge its many, many, many shuttlecraft to try and get down to the surface and retrieve whatever it can. But, of course, we have a couple of complications, the first of which being the most major, being that the Do Qe'Bach came into this system along with its Federation Starfleet allies, and it was cloaked. But as soon as you entered the system, a massive gravity wave hit ships, which meant that the Venture and the Thunderchilde were able to absorb it on their shields, but the Do Qe'Bach having its cloaking device up meant that they had no shields whatsoever, and thus have suffered a couple of breaches to the ship. So just to reiterate the position you are in with the IKS Do Qe'Bach, the ship has taken 4 separate breaches. 1 to computers, 1 to weapon systems, 2 to structure, even though you may have put some repairs in so that you don't suffer the downsides of those breaches are still present and will not be fixed until you get this ship to a space dock. 1 more breach happens and your ship is essentially put out of action. So maintaining your shields is going to be of paramount importance. But this is also where I will stress a certain other thing that you can do with your ship that hasn't really been used all that much and keeps getting forgotten about, which I'm not surprised because, you know, it's one amongst many other things that you have to keep in mind. But every ship, if you check the Do Qe'Bach, you can see that every ship has got reserve power. In first edition rules, we used to have a long chain of numbers which represented the overall reserve power, which could be thrown into things like helm maneuvers and firing weapons, and so keeping your batteries charged was a thing. They've removed that and just given you reserve power. If reserve power goes out, you can't do things like try and bring power back into shields and such. But whilst you have reserve power, you can, I believe it's the operations officer, can shunt reserve power into helping out the ship. So whenever the ship makes a roll on any of its systems, if you throw reserve power into the ship for that task, it will treat the ship as if it rolled a 1 on its assistance dice. So, everybody got that? Or do I need to explain it again? Let me actually pose this as another question. Does anybody not understand what I just said? Because then I can take the silence as an affirmative that you all actually get it. Okay, awesome. So, this is just me stressing that if you feel you need to be able to resist stuff, or you really want to succeed on a task with your ship assisting, you can throw reserve power into it so that the ship's roll automatically counts as a 1 by you funneling reserve power in. This does mean that reserve power has gone and needs to be brought back online by the operations officer. So it's not necessarily the operations officer that needs to be the one to throw reserve power into something. You can do that whenever. It's the operations officer that brings reserve power back.
Is it possible, if we do go that route, to have the operations officer pre-prepare, say, give them an action so that, they've prepared the reserve power, that once it's gone, they can immediately bring it back on?
Sure. That's so, that's going to be the purview of Lieutenant Shalathi, your chief engineer. But of course, at any point, anyone from any ship department can jump to another location if you really needed to. So, in a pinch, the captain can even jump to another ship position if you feel you need to get somebody else. You need additional help, or you need another action from that department to happen during your overall turn, if that makes sense. But putting someone on notice that as soon as reserve power is gone, someone needs to jump on that and bring it back, sure. Especially because regenerating your shields requires you to have reserve power. Let me just check. So, replenishing reserve power is something done as operations or engineering. It's only a difficulty 1, and it's all on the operations officer or engineer, with no assistance from the ship. So, something to bear in mind. All right, are we all caught up? Are we all good? Are we all ready to get on with? Because,
yep.
As one last note, from what I last remember you telling me, there was a rather crazy battle plan. Insofar as there was a plan put forward by Bonnet, your helm officer, to have her prototype shuttlecraft, which she brought with her, Bonnet's monster, loaded up with explosives and remote flown into the middle of the Romulans' formation in order to make it suffer a warp core breach and detonate in the middle of their ships to try and cause as much damage as possible. This is a fine and fantastic idea, but I do have to point out one thing. Sending the shuttle out means you lower your shields. So this will need to be a very carefully coordinated action if this plan is going ahead. Everybody get me?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
We get you, sir.
We've got the momentum to seize initiative to get the shields back up.
Indeed. So what I'm suggesting here is, of course, tactics, or tic-tacs. Except one's less tasty than the other, depending on what flavour you go with. Anyway, before I drag myself down that particular rabbit hole of tangent, I'm going to throw us to the Candidate 3 system. And yes, we are now going to hold back them Romulans. So, let's see what we get here. Add you guys to initiative, and use the new initiative tracker to help me out with that. Okay, cool. So, you guys are currently in this zone, which is paired with the Venture. The Venture is looking to hold this zone as it's between the planet that's just invaded the space and the Candidate 3 planet itself. So, whom of you is going to go first?
Bonnie?
I mean, because the Romulans don't necessarily know that we're here because we masked our signature last
That's a
time,
good
right?
point. They think you are a Starfleet vessel. Good point. Well done for remembering. So how would you like to capitalize on this deception? I mean, let's see. You are a Scale 5 ship, and the USS Thunderchilde, an Akira class, is also a Scale 5 ship. So, really, your warp signature could currently suggest that you are another Akira class Federation ship. So it would make sense that you would be charging the Romulans line, in a way. So, once again, how do you want to do this?
Yeah,
You are
I
facing
think
overwhelming odds.
I agree with Mark. Let Bonnie's chateau go do its thing, and we'll bring the shields up with momentum. Is that the
Okay,
idea?
so tactical can modulate shields as a major action, so what I will say is just disabling shields by your tactical officer is a minor action. So this means that... Hang on a second, just done that again. Let's just check something here. Holdover from previous... Let's make sure people's names are actually in the thing here. So, Mark, you are the tactical officer, which means you essentially jump the initiative for the moment to lower shields as a minor action. Shields go down. Which means this is effectively your turn. But you pointed out that you do have a full momentum pool. So if you want to delay your major action, or instead substitute your major action for raising the shields back online again.
Yeah,
because
I think actually straight away, drop the shields, launch it, raise the shields back up.
Okay, so that counts as your job done.
Yep.
Alright, so we will do that then. So essentially what we are doing is we're looking to spend 2 momentum to keep the initiative, unless the captain has a talent that lets him do this quickly. I don't think he does. No. Unless, what's the order of Kree stack? You may avoid injury. and the Order of Kalis is essentially the Legion of Honor. So, alright. So you jump in, and if you want Bonnet to go now and remote set the Bonnet's monster to fly out, and at least give it its initial course heading. And this is indeed going to be a momentum spend so that you guys can keep the initiative so that Bonnet can go next. So, Liz, take 2 momentum out of the pool if you can, please. And we jump initiative to Bonnet. Now remember, everybody's character tokens are down in the bottom left next to their department, just for ease of reference. And this is going to be actually your control and con check, but it's going to be aided by Bonnet's monster itself. So I am going to ask Dave, can you roll for Bonnet's monster, the sporty little shuttlecraft? If you're with us, Dave. Dave might not be with us. Okay. In that case, I will ask Chris.
Sorry about that.
Nope, he's back.
Here he is.
Dave, can you please take control of Bonnet's monster? I am currently pinging its whereabouts.
Out of curiosity, what is the difficulty of this task?
Well, you are just looking to pilot it. So you're just giving it a direction and pointing it. I'm going to say it's more than likely difficulty 1, because you're trying to get it in a precise location.
Okay, cool. Damn, I can't use it correctly. The piloting to lower it. Yeah, 1.
So, Dave, if you could be Bonnet's monster and give us engines and con.
Nope, I haven't got any. Sorry.
Hasn't got any what?
I was just having a look.
For... Oh, okay. Interesting. If you wanted to, you guys, because Bonnet's
yes, I'm just
monster
reading it.
has got improved impulse drive, you could spend 2 momentum to increase the difficulty of trying to actually hit Bonnet's monster by 1. In case the Romulans thought to open fire on it.
That's sensible.
It will drain your momentum pool even more.
Yeah, we'll get it back.
Yeah. Don't you worry.
Alright then, I like the confidence. So, our opening gambit begins. If I can have the helm control and con check from Bonnet and the engine and con from the shuttle. Let's do it. No successes from Bonnet's monster. It's all down to Bonnet herself.
Okay, I have helm operations and propulsion, so I get a focus. You can go to remote. Remote piloting rules.
No.
Oh, they're funny. Oh, there's a thing that says there's a ship assisting. Little button. Under it.
Oh.
Under everything.
That's cool. We've already rolled the ship assisting, but never mind. Have they added that? That's awesome. 2 successes, which was 1 over and above what you needed, so that one goes back into the momentum pool. So, let's see. Bonnet's monster starts in the same zone as yourselves. moves into the next zone. Now, the rules governing capital ships attacking smaller ships is that they are hard. It is harder for a big ship to hit a teeny tiny ship. So Bonnet's monster should already be difficult to hit, but adding the bonus from its improved impulse drive will make it even harder to hit. So far, so good. This will be where our first officer, Qe'Bach, now has to jump back in order to quickly raise your shields again. But I hasten to remind folks that a certain amount of shields was already taken out of practically everybody's shields in the area because of the gravity wave, so your shields come up at like 75%. But
I
that...
figured Bonnie's
Go on,
monster
sorry.
started to pick, lying crazy, having fun, remote piloting this damn thing.
So that essentially means that your Helm Officer's turn is taken up guiding the shuttlecraft, which means your ship essentially remains in the area you are at. Now actually, if you use a Helm minor action is to use impulse, so you can move one zone. So you can cross into this zone or that zone. So where would you like to actually land your ship?
Yeah, I think we want to get in the way of the planet, but we don't want to get closer to the explosion.
Everybody else on board with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so a minor action from the Helm Officer allows you to bring the Do Qe'Bach into this region here, which is between Candidate 3 and the Romulans, who are 2 away. Alright, now the Romulans get their turn. So let's see. The Romulans don't react to Bonnet's monster, but they do spread out their line. So Captain Qe'Bach, with his knowledge of starship tactics, no problem, Mark. What the captain of the Do Qe'Bach essentially sees here is that the Romulans know that there are more of them than there are of you. So they are reorientating their line, knowing full well that you can only stop one of them, maybe two of them. The others, they're looking essentially to run your blockade. And at the very least, two are going to be able to get past you. Even if you manage to fire on and take on two ships, there's still the other two ships who are lined up to just fly right past you and go for the planet. So they spend their minor actions reorientating themselves, and then their collaborative... Now they're all acting in unison at the moment, so their actions are all going together, aiding one another. So they will then move one zone all together as their Helm Officers all take a collective turn. This does, however, put them within the same zone as Bonnet's monster. Your turn
That is.
now.
The Bonnie's monster is currently doing barrel rolls.
It's going to require a remote seizing of control of Bonnet's monster's warp control systems to essentially cause this breach. So you're probably talking somebody with knowledge of warp cores. So in all likelihood, if you want to have the ship remotely detonate and remotely detonate very well, you are more than likely looking at your chief engineer being the one to try and remotely detonate it and overload its warp core. Unless the captain wants to give it a go so that you save your operations officer the task of... so that they can... let me rephrase that. You have said that you want to hold your chief engineer ready to pull power back online the moment reserve power goes down.
Mm-hmm.
If your chief engineer instead tries to do the remote detonation of Bonnet's monster, that will be their turn. So they will come off of that readied action. So this is your gamble. Do you want your chief engineer to try and remotely detonate the ship and therefore not be on call to bring reserve power back online if it goes down? Or do you want somebody else, like either the captain or Lieutenant O'Keefe, your science officer, try and do it?
I think I'll do it.
So your turn comes around, and it's essentially Captain Qe'Bach that is now going to try and remotely detonate Bonnet's monster using your communication systems. So we are looking for a controlled explosion, which means this is gonna be control and engineering from the good captain.
Okay.
Now his control is pretty good, his engineering is not bad.
Can I use my focus of space combat tactics?
This would seem to fit, yes.
Yep.
Because you are looking to time it just right.
Oh
My goodly good god! Not only was that a good success, it was a very good success, so I'm putting one extra into the momentum pool there, and... well... now then. Kaboom! So, Bonnet's monster has been loaded up with explosives. Now, a warp core breach, according to the previous edition's rules, was all of 3 dice worth of damage. But since you loaded up with explosives, I'm gonna kick that up to... now a photon torpedo is 5. Let's make it a 5. So if you detonated a photon torpedo, but they are all going to take this, because they are in the same region as it. Ooh, what happened there? Did nothing happen? 1, 2, 3, nothing's going on. Let me try this manually then. /5d6. Here we go, folks. Pray for big numbers. Okay. 1, 2, 3, but all of them were effects. If you wanted to, you could spend a momentum to re-roll.
Yes.
Yes.
Those, some or all of those dice.
Just some.
Yeah.
Did you want to re-roll the ones that had a blank?
Yes, please.
There were 2 that had blanks, so they didn't do anything. Everybody good with this?
Yeah.
Alright then, roll 2. You roll 2. Let's see what happens. Okay, that's better. 2 more. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in total, which goes through everybody's resistance. It does mean, because their shields are up, that they take it on the shields, but they all take it on the shields. So Bonnet's monster goes up like a torpedo and damages every single warbird in the fleet. Goodbye, Bonnet's monster. Did its job, though.
For now.
Now.
But he's already typing up a new request from Starfleet to get a new one. So, that was your turn.
Now, unless you're spending another 2 momentum to keep the initiative.
I think we can relinquish it.
Okay. The Warbirds are all going to act in concert. And I'm going to use some really fancy schmatchy stuff that I got here. And we are going to... let's see... scan for weakness. Now then, these guys are talented. So that puts us there. And scanning for weakness, which for some reason my brain has just jumped out of. Sensor, scan for weakness is sensors and security, control and science difficulty 2. Okay. Sensors and security. Scan for weakness. Do I add a dice? I've got one then. I'll add a dice. Oh, hello! 4. I needed 2. Right, so your sensors, mostly captained by Lieutenant Okitha, your sensors reveal that the Romulan ships have all sent active sensor pings onto the Do Qe'Bach, pinpointing various weak points.
I found it funny. It's like, why does the Starfleet ship have Klingon weaknesses?
Yes, so this will be the first clue that the Romulans have got, that everything's not as it seems here. But, let me see. This does mean that since they are all acting in concert, I am going to say that their weapon systems gain the piercing and quality and an extra 3 damage. That is their turn. Your chief engineer, Lieutenant Shackleton, has yet to go, as has your sensor operator, Lieutenant Dr. Okitha. So, what task would you like to perform next? Obviously, sensors will help you scan for weaknesses on whichever one ship you determine you want to act against. Likewise, your chief engineer can try and bring some power back to shields in order to get them up. So which do you think is a priority for you?
Shields! Shields!
Which suggests Shalatha is next. So Chris, they've asked you to bring the shields back.
Cool. Right. Where's me?
Your character sheet should be down on the bottom left.
Mm-hmm.
In order to bring shields back online, it requires reserve power, which you do currently have. So this requires a control and engineering task from you, assisted by the ship's structure and engineering.
Can I use the focus and system maintenance and repair as well, if that's all right?
Sure, that makes sense to me. Who wants to be the ship? Who hasn't rolled yet?
Boom. Oh, hey, my dice are back. Cool.
Were they gone?
Yeah, last week the dice weren't
yeah,
just showing up on my screen, but they do now.
Okay, cool. Who hasn't rolled in a bit, if at all?
Is it Mark?
Mark has yet to roll.
That's me. That's me. The ship isn't going anywhere.
Okay.
No,
Mark,
I am back.
Mark, if you can be the Do Qe'Bach then, aiding this regenerating shields, structure and engineering, please.
Structure and
Dave,
engineering.
you shush. We're not about to get our butt handed to us. We're about to hand the butts to the
One
Romulans.
success, that's 2 successes overall. Nice. Now, in order to succeed, it was a difficulty 2, so you got difficulty 2 on the money. It regains shields equals to your engineering department. which is 3. Previously, I misunderstood engineering department as being the character's engineering department. Apparently it's not, it's the ship's. Whoops-a-daisy. You can regain more shields by spending a momentum to get 2 points back, which means if you spent 1 more momentum, you could get full shields.
I think we should. Might as well.
Alright then, Connie, if you want to take 1 momentum off. Mark, if you've still got the Do Qe'Bach open. Or have you closed it? Yep, put shields to full.
Pew!
Reserve power siphoned back into the shield emitters. Your shields are now full, which is just as well because it's the Romulans' turn and they are all going to act together. Which means they are all making one big assault. So, they have already scanned for weaknesses, which means they have applied piercing to this attack, and they're also going to do extra damage. They might also do a bit of extra damage from working in concert, unless they want to make their roll easier. Let's work on making this actually hit. So they're going to use their collaborative efforts rather than compounding more damage, which they've already done. Just going to make it easier for themselves. Now, what did I just do? Was that perform task? I didn't want that. I wanted ship. So an attack is going to be weapons and security. These are talented guys. It is a starship attack. Number of dice in pool. Yep. They want this to actually hit, so 1, 2, 3 of them are going to help. Okay, here we go. Okay, interesting. They rolled no successes and a complication, but because they were all working in concert, they needed 0 successes to hit. But they have rolled a complication. Interesting. Alright. A complication. What could that complication be?
Weapons overheating.
Yeah.
Accidentally
Alright.
jam something.
Okay. This ship, the Romulan ship on the farthest right, seems to suddenly... woo!
What happened there?
We just got zoomed all the way to... There is something you can do to stop that, actually, whenever somebody types a message and it comes out on their character to zoom straight in.
Sorry.
That's okay, that's okay. I think it's under interface control. Nope, not that. Okay. Combat tracker, dice configuration, compendium art, default token sheets, universal keywording, disable key canvas view. Right. If peeps want to get rid of that, where it pans immediately to speaker, I can guide you if you want to find that.
Please.
Okay. The double cog wheel on the right-hand side, that's when you hover over it says game settings.
Yeah. Yep. Already
Go
there.
to configure settings in that lot.
Yep.
If you scroll all the way down, it's not all the way, but if you scroll down, you eventually come upon a trio of drop-downs, which one says language preference, underneath that it says dynamic token rings, underneath that it says dynamic token rings fit modes. Anybody not know where I am?
Yep, enable chat bubble.
So, enable chat
And
bubbles is
it's open
fine,
here.
but pan to token speaker is the one underneath it. You can uncheck that if you don't want the pan to token speaker to happen. And save changes.
Good.
Hasn't always worked for me, but we shall see. Right, so, what was I saying? The warbird on the farthest right. Hey, there we go. the warbird on the farthest right seems to suffer some kind of engine failure. Not to the point where it's losing power or anything, but certainly seems to have something going on with it where it starts to list, as if it's drifting uncontrollably. Nevertheless, they needed 0 to hit you, I'm afraid, because they are all working in concert. And so... And this is going to be... 3 ships all working together, and they use their disruptor banks, which means that is a 9, 10, 11, 12, ignoring your resistance of 8, which means that your shields go down to just 8. That's over half of your shields gone in one go. Your ship is now shaken, not stirred. What happens when the ship is shaken? Well, you have a choice. You can choose Brace for Impact, which is where one character, so one of the command characters, can choose to miss their turn, so they don't take a major action. Or you can choose the losing power option, where if you have reserve power, you lose it. Or the ship suffers some kind of complication where you have casualties or minor damage. Or you roll to randomly determine which it is. What would you rather?
If a character can't do major action, can they still assist someone else? Or does that count?
No, because they're making a roll.
I'll do it.
You'll miss your turn?
I'm the only person left, aren't I? So...
Okay, you want to miss your turn now. Okay.
Yeah.
Oof.
Okay. So, shields at 50%. If the damage reduces the ship's shields to below half its maximum value, the ship is shaken, with the commanding officer making a damage result, which you chose was to have your sensor operator effectively brace for impact, miss their turn, making a major action. So, what can your sensor operator do as a minor action? Let's have a look. You can calibrate the sensors so that on your next sensor operations action you can ignore a single trait affecting the task, or you can launch a probe. So nothing much that you can do, really.
No.
But you give up your go after they, well, pound your shields pretty heavily there. Now the captain has already done something. Akitha effectively loses their ability to do something, so around we go. Round 2. Now, during the time you were getting shot at by the Romulans, the USS Venture had positioned itself directly between the incoming planet of Orgoon 3 and the planet of Candidate 3. And it looks like they're preparing to channel a lot of energy into their power systems and their main deflector in a hope of trying to slow down this planetoid. Meanwhile, the Thunderchilde have moved into the same zone as the Candidate 3 planet, so if they can hold that area, they can start disgorging shuttlecraft in order to get folks down onto the planet. So, what else did I have to say in that regard? I don't think there's anything else. Oh yes, actually, I'm wrong. There is something else. I would like Dr. Okitha to give me a reason and science check, difficulty 3, assisted by the ship's sensors and security. So, Liz, if I could get you to be the Do Qe'Bach, giving us
Reason
sensors and security. Reason and science from Dr. Okitha, please.
Is there any Is there any focuses?
Does Dr. Akitha have sensors?
I don't know. I'm rolling. Sensor operations, yes.
There you go. Oof. 3 successes and a complication.
I don't know if I've got anything.
Is it the Order of Kalis that's our Legion of Honor?
It
Anything?
is. But
I haven't got an
no,
order
not a thing.
tables.
No.
You have the option of trying to spend a determination to reroll that complication if you wish, but it has to be justified through use of one of your values affecting the current situation and getting you to really, really want to succeed. Getting to the truth is a battle one I intend to win. Things must be challenged to prove their worth. That sounds more like it. That's if you want to spend a determination. Obviously, if you spend it now, then you don't have it to use after.
Yeah, I'll do it. Do you want me to put that in?
Since technically your Klingon crew aren't the main characters, I wouldn't worry too much about that.
Okey-dokey. So yeah, things must be challenged to prove their worth.
So you can re-roll that complication. Re-roll the 20. Holy hose! So it goes from 3 successes and a complication to 4 successes overall. Good 5? The re-rolled dice was... You re-rolled the 16. Oh, you retained the 16, you re-rolled it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reroll the
2,
20,
3,
so
4.
yeah, it's 5. Because there's 1 success with the 16, isn't it?
It's difficult to tell. Let me quickly check what's
No, it's
Okitha's... What's Okitha's range here? Her science is...
Oh no, it is 2. It is 4. It is 4.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
because
Yeah, focus goes from 1 to 4, not 1 to 8.
1 to
It's
5.
1 to 8.
So.
Yeah.
But it's still 4. That is still a success, and with 1 left over, so you did that. You get 1 momentum back into the pool. Right, interestingly enough, as soon as that volley of shots comes from the fleet of Romulan Warbirds, sensors indicate something strange just happened during that initial volley. Dr. Akitha reckons that one of the Warbirds struck your ship's shields with their disruptor beam modified so that it had an unusual resonance pattern associated with it. It seems that someone on that 4th ship, that 4th Romulan ship, used your shields and the weapon system that they used to deliver it to send you a message. Because there is a message logged in the computer bank now.
What I'm about to say is a joke. Delete. That was a joke.
But anybody...
Send it to the
this is outside of
captain.
initiative, sorry. Go on, sorry Dave, I was talking over you there.
Send it to the captain.
Okay, so it's going to need decoding, but the good thing is this is happening outside of the battle at the moment. So anybody who wants to can try a daring or a reason and security task with a difficulty of 2, assisted by the ship's communications and security to decipher the message. So,
Ooh, I've got 11.5 for Trigok. If anyone's got better.
Nope.
10-4 for the captain.
So, no.
I didn't know we were on the Enterprise. Oh, you said 10-4, not 10 forward. Okay.
I'll let that one slide for now. Okay, cool. So the best one suited to decoding this seems to be Qe'Bach. So, yes, who wants to be the ship? Who hasn't rolled in a bit? Chris. Chris hasn't rolled in a bit. Is Chris back?
He is. Hello.
He is. Excellent. So we are trying to use the communication system to decode this. So if we could have the ship roll communications and security, whilst your tactical officer rolls either daring or reason and security, we're looking for a difficulty of 2.
I forget, focus was on by default, is that fine?
Sure, it's the ship after all.
Cool.
Oh, 1 success.
And 1 success means 2 successes, exactly what you needed. Word. Right. Yes. There's a brief message, audio only, encoded into the shot that hit your shields at the correct resonance. It states, "Friendly will render aid ASAP. Focus fire on wingman Sigmund."
Okay.
Now that message came from that ship, which is apparently listing, falling back from the main fleet, the main formation.
So it wants us to hit the ship next to it.
Correctamundo. So you have a new combat round going on, so go for it.
Do we want to go straight for an attack, or do we want to get the shields up?
Go for an attack.
Okay. Do we want to set up or just get Qe'Bach to blast him?
Set up. Get
Attack pattern.
Yeah, attack
'Cause
pattern.
We'd have to seize the initiative for me to take the turn after.
Unless the captain chooses to go now and can use the command major action of direct, which allows the captain to spend a momentum and select one ally on the bridge who immediately attempts a single major action, and can assist them with control and command.
No?
Ooh.
Let's do this.
Alright then. So the captain essentially takes initiative. The captain can spend a momentum and can direct, I guess, your tactical officer to take a shot and can assist that shot. So Connie, if you
Sounds
can
good.
spend a momentum, please. Here we go. Cool. So if we are asking Qe'Bach to make an attack, Qe'Bach himself is doing control and security, assisted by the captain's control and command, and also assisted by the ship's weapons and security. So, who hasn't been the ship yet? Liz, have you been the ship yet?
I got 2 successes. Yeah, I was the one that got the 2 successes during the sensors and security.
Okay, cool. So, who hasn't rolled as, or who wants to roll as the ship, essentially? Because we've got Connie assisting, we've got Mark rolling for weapons, so that leaves Liz, Dave, Chris, either of you want to be the ship.
I don't mind being the ship.
There we are, then one of you spoke up. Dave will be the ship, so... So once again, Dave, you are rolling weapons and security. Connie, you are rolling control and command. Mark, you are rolling control and security. 2 dice.
Oh, well, first up,
Shield Breaker.
Shield Breaker. So it's got the depleting quality. Fire at will, because that means I can fire twice. And Chief Tactical Officer, so just setting all that up. And glory to our house. I'm going to spend determination. And I'll perform task. And the focus will be shipboard tactical systems. So not a dedicated focus, determination, roll dice.
And now let's get the captain and the ship to roll, please. That looks very good.
Rolling it again?
Oh, did you already roll? My pardon.
Yes.
Sorry, Mark posted so much text to the screen that I missed it. One success.
Yeah, it was a success.
And there was a success from the ship as well. Alright, so that's 2 already. On top of your 3 makes for 5. You are firing which weapon system?
Oh, disruptor cannon.
The disruptor cannon is a close range, which luckily they are all within close range. You needed 3, you got 5, so 2 extra goes into the momentum bank. In which case, big old boom as the forward disruptor cannon lets off a massive blast. You increase the damage rating of that weapon 1 momentum rather than 2. So, you're using the disruptor cannon, which does a massive 9. It has intense, so if you want to make it a 10, you can, well, if you want to increase its damage, you can spend 1 momentum to increase that damage commensurately.
I think so.
Yeah.
How much do you want to spend?
Just 1, because I'm going to spend 1 to attack again.
Aha.
With, it has to be an attack. So the second action is...
Okay, so let me do this first. You do hit that specific warbird. It still has its resistance. You did 10, which means it takes 1, 2, 3, 4. Which means that ship is now shaken because you've knocked it below half of its shields. So it loses one of its turns. Okay, Grooves, and you can make a second action, a second attack by spending momentum.
Already taking it. Ready to go.
This will be without the captain aiding.
Yep.
But it will be with the ship aiding, so Dave, you may as well go again.
And if everyone's okay, I'll take
had
1
myself
momentum,
on mute.
and I'll roll 3 dice.
Weapons
So
and
4.
security.
And no one said no, so here goes 3 dice.
Do it.
That'll do.
Whoa!
Is it weapons and
And
security?
Weapons and security from the ship, please, yes. 5 successes. So that was... Hang on a second, my maths are off. 5 that time. Was it 5 the other time as well? It was. Should
Yep.
have been only... Oh no, sensors are on the fritz because of the interference. So it should have been 3. You did 5, that was another 2 back into the bank. Same again, it does damage of 10. Damage of 9, pardon me. If you want to add any more damage, you can throw in momentum.
Just the 1 to make it 10. So if we need to seize initiative, we can.
Yeah.
So that, again, knocks it down by 1, 2, 3, 4. So that knocks it down to under 25% of its shields, which means when a ship has its shields down at 25%, if the damage reduces its ships below a quarter, the ship is shaken as above. If it was already shaken, which it was, from the attack, then the ship suffers a breach as damage punches through the shields. So now you can see ships. I'm just going to leave it with a breach. Here we are. do cause damage to the other ship. Nice!
Should we seize initiative and get our shields up?
I think
That-
so.
Would probably be a good idea.
Yep.
So, spend 2 momentum so that your operations officer, your chief engineer, can try and bring shields back. So, Chris, can
Yep.
we get an attempt for you to bring shields back online? Which is going to be control and engineering from you. Connie, can I... Connie? Yeah, Connie, can I get you to be the ship this time?
Okay.
Because the ship assists with generating shields, the ship is going to roll structure and engineering.
Cool. I can use my focus of system maintenance and repair again.
Yes, please. Oh dear.
Do I have the Klingon equivalent of?
The Order of
Legion of
Batleth,
Honor.
well, have a look.
I do not. No way.
You do not. Okay, so once
You
again...
got determination.
Yes, you can spend determination, but of course, if you use it, you lose it.
Yeah. I might as well. Shields are important.
Reroll that 20 then. Okay, cool.
Bear with.
Bearing with.
One.
Ooh!
Oh,
That's
well,
much
yeah.
better.
God damn!
First try, nailed it.
1, 2, 3. What am I doing? That was 2, so that actually goes up by 3. Bing, bada boom, bada boom. Right, so shields on this go up by... Oh, what happens to shaken? Does that go away? Because because you spent your turn. Shields uses engineering to bring shields up by 3. If you want to bring the shields up further, you're going to have to spend momentum. For every momentum spent, you bring the shields up by 2.
Use it all.
Oh.
You sure?
I think so.
Everybody else?
Because that way, if they're going to attack us, we want maximum shields. We don't want to go below half again.
Okay. Let's spend it.
Alright, somebody take that 3 momentum out of the pool. Have you still got the ship's character sheet open, Connie?
No.
That's alright, I'll do it.
Back up.
Bing! That's alright, I just did. I was there. I was ready and waiting in the wings. So, your chief engineer throws as much power as she can into the shield emitters to try and regenerate as many shields as possible, because you know what's coming next. So that was essentially Shalatha's go, as well as you seizing the initiative to try and bring your shields back online. Right, so the Romulan fleet are moving in. They are moving... I'll move this one here. He looks like he wants to engage you. This one is moving past you. This one is moving in to engage you as well. This one is listing, but as you look, the ship that message came from, it looks like it's listing, but it's actually sneakily maneuvering itself in behind the one you were told to attack. But nevertheless, the Romulan ships are all moving in with the intention of, well, one of them is looking to run past you to the planet. The other 2 are looking to take you on directly. But that's just their helm operation that they've done there together, so we are going to leave that there. One of you can go next. Now, technically, your tactical officer still has his own turn to go on, because he only acted thanks to the captain using a command ability. So we have Bonnet on helm, Okitha on sensors, and Tregok on tactical, still to have
Blast.
their turns. So what would you like to do?
We can either evade or I could shoot them again.
I think I might as well shoot them. We don't want to evade and give them.
Well, the good
access
thing
To shoot.
The good thing about Bonnet is that she can decide to either do evasive or attack patterns ahead of time, and she just essentially aids whoever attacks or makes opposed rolls against anyone trying to shoot the ship. So, what would you prefer Bonnet to do? Make it harder for them to hit you, or to aid you in hitting them? This counts as, you know, Liz needs input on this as well.
It's up to you, Liz. If you're there. Oh, yeah.
She's considering. What? What is that? Considering? Oh my goodness.
Do I want to go smart or speed an attack?
I'm shooting either way.
Yeah. This becomes your tactical consideration one way or the other.
Are you still thinking in the Starfleet way, or have you assimilated yourself into our...
Do you think Bonnie thinks of about Starfleet ways?
Interesting point. And Connie's point stands as well. Does Bonnet more consider the Klingon way of doing things as the more viable method?
All she cares about is speed. They're going fast.
You know, going fast can still be used to evade Romulans hitting your ship, as you speedily maneuver the thing more than it should be able to. Or, of course, swinging the guns around so that Qe'Bach can bring the weapons to bear easier. So it's entirely up to you, Liz. What do you think would be best served here? What's your impulse?
You know what? She's gonna do the Bonnie bluff.
Which is remind the viewers at home.
she's gonna. So it's gonna be aiding the attack.
Right.
In a way
attack
of.
Pattern.
Oh hey. Oh crap! The Klingons are gonna ram us, and then miss.
Oh yes, your variation on the Picard maneuver. Move as if to ram them, then slam on the brakes quickly and unload your payload of weapons. Okay, cool. So you are essentially doing attack.
There is no slamming on the brakes. We go over them quickly as we shoot them, completely.
So essentially, Qe'Bach will have assistance on the attack roll from the ship and from Bonnet. So that's cool. So if you want to scan for weaknesses now, so that you're more able to pierce their resistance, or if you want to just go shoot stuff now, that's entirely up to you. Who prefers to go? Commander Qe'Bach or Dr. Akitha?
Pew 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 pew.
Dave, are you on board with this?
There's no... We don't have momentum to seize, so...
No.
Yeah.
Whatever people want to do.
Alright, I'm gonna roll 2 dice using focus to attack.
So can I get... So who is due to roll? We've had Chris now, we've had Connie. Liz is going to be assisting. So that essentially leaves Dave to be the ship. Once again. So Dave, if you could give us weapons and security from the ship, and if we could have from Bonnet a single dice using control and con, please. My goodness.
Oh.
Alright, so difficulty went down somewhat because they're now all within the same zone as yourselves, which makes sense. I was able to cope a lot easier with targeting solutions. which means it was difficulty 2 to hit. It is, therefore you've got 2 back. Which ship were you aiming for?
The same one.
Same one. Groovy. Which means that was a successful shot with your disruptor cannon, I take. So,
Yep.
9 damage. But for every 1 momentum you spend, you can up the damage. So what would you like to do?
I'm going to keep it the same damage, but take 1 momentum to shoot it again.
Alright, so it goes for 9 damage, so it's 3. Its shields are down.
Because it's shield breaker, it's depleting.
That just means that it doesn't suffer breaches, it just takes shields down. I can check
Just
that,
shields
of
down.
course. Depleting means that strips away the attack cannot cause the ship to be shaken, but momentum can reduce it. Okay, so it was never shaken because you were using shield breaker. Okay, good to know.
And don't need to have shield breaker for this second attack.
Okay, cool. So, Dave, you were on the ship duty for weapon systems. You may as well do it again. As Tregok is opening up with the cannon again. Good lordy. 2 more back in momentum. As you once again... God, this disruptor cannon at the front of the ship is going like a rotary gun. Boom, 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 boom! The Romulans must think that the tactical officer has just got his finger perpetually down on the trigger. Which is not actually far from the truth when you think about it. Okay.
That and our helm officer is nuts.
Oh yeah, just flew straight into the thing and then put the brakes on really quick. So, yeah.
No brakes, just drive-by shooting.
Drive-by
Came out real fast and just barely scraped the top of them.
Right, so it
Fired.
only has intense. So, yeah, crikey. Doodly-doodly-doodly-doo. 9 damage in total, unless you're modifying it, but... yeah, are you adding more damage?
Let's make it a nice round 10. So we can still seize initiative.
Nick off point of momentum as you did, make it a 10, so that makes for 4, which means you have inflicted pretty severe, significant crippling damage to this ship. Now, it's not destroyed, but it's pretty heftily damaged. So this one is essentially going to list away because it's probably out of the fight from here on in. Your ship is still chugging along, just barely, I also hasten to note. But this leaves their turn next, which means this ship is going to engage you. This ship is going to ignore you and going to use its own extra turn to move there, within the next zone. Meanwhile, these guys are using their collective turn to zero in on yourselves. Now, they have lost their fellow's ability to assist them because you crippled that other ship. That other ship at the top is not helping them in any way because something funny is going on on that ship, so it is just them versus you. 1-on-1 now. So, let's have a look. Can I get a selection reticule, please? Thank you. I haven't used much of my threat here, so I am gonna throw some threat in because the Romulans are not happy with this. Starship attack. Boom!
No.
4 successes, they only needed 2. So I get 2 back, and they are going to go for their plasma banks, which has intense, which means for everyone I spend, they get to boost. Now, they didn't bother using sensors to scan for weakness, which means your resistance still counts as 8, which means it'll only do 1, so if I want to do more, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. As they strip away, they pour a heavy amount of power into this attack and strip away your shields down to 50%, which means the ship is shaken. Give me the Star Trek shake, everybody. And that essentially means that the commanding officer once again has to make that choice. Do you have your one remaining officer miss their turn, or have someone in the next turn miss their turn? Or do you want to lose reserve power, or do you want the ship to suffer a complication through casualties and minor damage?
I'll miss my turn again.
Yeah.
Oh,
Since you keep missing your turn, we'll put you provisionally on being the ship from here on in, I think. But, okay.
Should we do the 4 shot with you commanding again?
So
Good
the
suggestion.
Romulans get one more go. Because you guys missed your turn, they are going to try and regain their shields. They got 4 successes because Romulans are damn good at their job. So it's 2, they gain 2 extra. They regain shields to the amount of not a hell of a lot unless they spend. So we are going to spend to pump that up by an additional 4. Okay, groovy. Now we come along to. Except we don't.
Oh.
So the end of this round, number of things happen. First of all, we check in with the Venture. Sensors on your ship indicate that the Venture is now drawing in all the gravimetric and tetraionic waves coming off of the approach of the planet and the waves coming off of the wormhole. Their power systems are flooding with extra energy, which they are trying to vent the excess of into space through the main deflector and just firing it off into empty space to try and vent this extra energy. But your sensors indicate that the Venture is now suffering overloads in a number of its EPS conduits, which means that a lot of their power systems are overloading on a lot of decks, which means that there's a lot of fires and stuff going on the Venture at the moment. The Thunderchilde, however, has had to drop its shields in order to start disgorging all of its shuttles, which, with the Romulan Warbird being in close proximity to it, is not a good thing. But the good thing about the Romulan Warbird is that it has pretty much used all of its turn to get itself close to the planet. So for the moment, that isn't as much of a problem as it could be. But finally, that extra Romulan Warbird that sent you that message saying that they are a friendly maneuvers itself quietly in behind the one Romulan Warbird that is currently engaging yourselves, then opens fire. So,
Oh look, the Romulans are so treacherous, they even turn on themselves.
let's see what they do.
That is all Bonnie says as she sees this from her console.
So, yeah. Oop, not on yourselves. That was actually, they're supposed to go to this ship here, so I'll do that again. Boom. So, Romulan Warbird has banks at 9. Doesn't get taken down by much, but it certainly makes you scratch your head and go, what the hell's going on here? As that one now turns its guns on that Romulan Warbird. So, something funny is going on at the moment, but this brings us around to your new round. Whom of you wants to go first?
We're doing as before with the captain assisting.
You want to command. Alrighty.
Yes! Go for the Warbird, which is next to the Thunderchilde.
Yeah.
That one. Okay. So, as before, this will be a control and security 2 dice from your tactical officer, aided by, I believe it was control and command from the captain, and from the ship we get weapons and security. This will be difficulty 3.
Using focus.
Pretty good so far. Complication.
Ooh.
Can let me just look at everything.
Oh, wait there. I didn't use my veteran
Pfizer.
last time.
Ah.
Veteran. I'm gonna roll a d20, see if I
Check
get
your
my...
veteran. Ooh,
Oh,
Jammy,
get
you
it
get
back.
it back.
I'm not the only one that forgets about the veteran when I'm playing as Hopkins.
I was going to mention that offhandedly, actually.
So, does the captain have a way to stop the complication? 'Cause
I
just
can
re-roll.
have since I use command, the assisted character may re-roll 1d20.
Oh, I'll re-roll the d20 anyway. Keep the elimination. There we go. 3 successes in total. For me? So that's 5. Yeah.
5 into 5
One
in
from
total,
captain.
So, bing, bing.
What would you guys do without me?
I know.
Same as before. Disruptor cannon does 9 damage usually, but for every 1 momentum spend, you up the damage.
Take 2 momentum. 1 for damage, 1 for second fire.
1 for damage. So 10 is 1, 2, 3, 4. But you're using shield breaker, so it's not shaken.
Not this time.
Not this
No,
time.
not this time.
It is now shaken. Okay. That was 1 attack.
And again.
Again! What's that from Teletubbies?
I'm going
Again!
to take 1 momentum because I'm rolling on my own.
Right.
But I am the steel on which all things break. I'll use that determination now.
Okay. Dave, you're the ship as usual.
That'll do.
God damn! Is this perhaps the most elite crew in the entire Klingon Empire?
Yes,
3.
also maybe the most craziest.
Also the most crazy. Yeah, cool. These weapon systems are going to overheat. Alright, that is a successful second shot.
And
9
let's
damage.
up it by 2 to
11
leave 2 in the
damage.
momentum pool.
So, that's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is below 25%, which means they suffer a breach. God, this ship is rocking and reeling at the moment. That does lay it open for the Thunderchilde to have its own go. Which
That's
is
fine.
possibly what you wanted there, so that is not bad for the captain. That was the captain's go. Fire!
You're welcome, Jack.
Fire again! Captain, is it alright if I
Pew,
fire?
pew.
Yes! And do it again! Captain, do I fire? Of course you fire! And fire again!
Because I've used my determination, I'm gonna... Come on. Roll again. Oh, no, didn't get it back.
Didn't get it back. Okay. Never mind. Jeez, mon. Okay, right, so, are you guys wanting to spend your 2 remaining momentum to seize the initiative?
Yes, and can I get Bonnet to help?
Attack pattern?
Bonnet.
The Bonnet gambit? The Bonnet bluff, pardon me. Everyone else is sitting there at their stations going, can we have a go yet?
By shooting. Bonnie's just like, hey, I get to do drive-by.
Alright then. Same notes as before. So it's going to be control and security from the tactical officer, weapons and security from the ship, and from Bonnet it is attack pattern, which I neglect to remember what that is. Helm. Control and comm from the helm officer.
What's it for the ship?
Weapons and security.
Okay, and then using focus.
Good lord. You needed 3, you got 5, 2 goes back into the pool.
All of the bridge here is just bodyguard.
All I can hear is the Klingons going, Bach! Bachto! Bachto! Fire! Flare again!
And body acting like
it's still there!
Exactly!
Fire!
Jeepers, man. Okay.
The crew's probably like, are you sure you graduated Starfleet Academy?
They're Klingons, they don't care at this point. Do they care at this point?
Mm-mm.
No,
I didn't think so.
They're enjoying this.
I'm just happy to have a crazy pilot.
They're probably all frothing at the mouth at this point. Shoot him! Shoot him again! Well, I've lost count of where we were. What are we doing now?
9 damage.
Yet another.
Yeah.
9 damage. Right. Crikey. And it was on the ship trying to land troops, right?
Yep. Trying.
9 damage.
Like, we're about to release. Oh, shit, we're out of power. We can't launch.
Right, we need it. Okay, so no additional damage.
No, I'm going to keep it at 9.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to shoot it again.
You get through its shields, which means it suffers a breach. And you can fire again.
There we go.
Right, ready. Dave, same again, please. Mark, same again, please.
Oh,
Good
that'll do.
grief, he rolled a 1. And the ship got 2! Oh my god, I'm so dizzy right now. That's 9. Takes 3, which means that ship is not destroyed, but very heavily disabled. So they might still be able to get some shuttles out, but this ship is going to be easy pickings, potentially for the Thunderchilde. So, it is definitely the Romulans next, but this Romulan ship has just been fired upon by the other Romulan ship behind it. So they are now wondering what the heck is going on. What would we do in this situation? We are going to... They can't activate their cloaking device because things are going a bit finicky, but... This Klingon ship is the one doing the most damage. I think we need to concentrate fire on this one. And they keep firing at us so many times, but we need to kick them whilst their shields are still only halfway up, so yeah.
Can we spend the momentum to get shields back up?
It's not your turn, I'm afraid. You've already spent momentum
We
to
already
keep
seized
the
it.
initiative, so
Okay.
but it means these guys are foregoing the ability to target your weak spots, knowing full well that you guys are pounding the ever-living crap out of these ships, the other ships. So, what do the Romulans do? Let's spend an extra threat to give them an extra dice. Boom. 4 successes. Gotcha. That's 2 over what I needed. Because you're in such close proximity. The Romulans have disruptor banks at 9. You guys have got resistance at 8, so that's only 1 it will do. Unless I do more. Make it 6 so that you go down to 25% of your shields. Your ship is already shaken, which means that you suffer a breach instead. That is not good news for this ship. Right, which system was hit? Let's roll it randomly and see what we get. Communications. Right, your ship is in pretty dire straits now.
Isn't that 5 breaches?
That's 5 breaches. Right, so you've suffered damage to your communications, your computer systems, your structural integrity, and your weapons, and that last shot was more than your ship had left in it. So your ship is now essentially crippled in space. And without the ability to currently communicate that it is so. But your science officer and your chief engineer have both yet to act. And so, I mean, your chief engineer at this point is pretty sure that the ship has taken so much damage it won't be able to take much more. But if it takes 1 more hit from the Romulans, it is going to go kaboom, taking you all with it. So, I mean, what do you want to do?
Can we fix anything?
Again, the structure, the actual breaches themselves are still going to stuck there, so the most you could do is fix the tractor beam emitter and try and do something funky with that, or fix the communications so that you can at least send a comm out saying our ship's disabled, help.
We fix the communications and send a SOS.
Yeah.
Is that... anyone disagree with that?
We could get the shields back out.
But we can't maneuver or anything like that.
Can we?
Rules, actually. Breaches. These breaches, you know, it's not just the nature of the breach, some of the nature of the breach inflicted. How many breaches does it take? Breaches are trait preventing ships. Breaches equal to or greater than half the ship's scale. The system is destroyed. So, yeah, you have suffered damage to Okay, actually, no, pardon me. Second edition has changed the rules somewhat. So, your ship isn't disabled, it isn't dead in the water. That was my mistake. But, if your ship suffers damage to a system equal to or greater than half your ship's scale is 5, so essentially 3, it gets destroyed. Your structure has taken 2 breaches. If it takes 1 more, your structure is destroyed. Now, that's bad news.
So we're still going. We're still in it.
going.
Yeah, let's get the shields up. Get the shields up. Get the shields up. Let's take that last one out.
Oh my goodness.
So, Chief Engineer, they have given you the task of trying to regain the shields on your ship even as it's groaning in pain. So, Chris, are you able to try and regenerate the shields?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'd love to, but my forge is not responding. Bear with me a sec.
No problem. Let me find what's needed.
Let me try loading that in and up again. Bear with us, I've just dropped out
That's
a
fine,
sec.
that's fine. I've lost operations, so let me find operations again. There it is.
Yeah, I'm on.
So what's needed for reserve? You need reserve power.
There we go. Right.
Ship still has reserve power, so you've got that going for you. In order to regenerate shields, you require control and engineering from your chief engineer.
Yep.
Assisted by the ship's structure and engineering. So, Dave, if you could give us structure and engineering from the
Oh
ship.
my god.
Oh dear.
Well, no determination, no Medal of Honor. Whoopsie.
Alrighty.
Does anyone have anything?
I got 2 Legions of Honor.
But you're not part of this actual attempt.
But that is it.
Oh,
All
we're
those
not
good
getting
rolls, they have now disappeared. A complication arises there. Let me see.
great.
You're trying to throw energy back into the shields, which essentially means that, yeah, you've got too many blown out shield emitters. And as such, your shield emitters will not be able to regain full, it'll be 1 less than full. So your max goes from 20 to 19 now.
And we didn't succeed anyway.
No, you didn't succeed anyway. You failed and got a complication, so... Lieutenant Shalatha, in her haste to try and get shields back, unfortunately overloaded one of the shield emitters and trying to purge it of the heat that was overloaded its coils. Oh dear! Which means that this warbird is now going to take its next action at a cost of my last threat to actually shoot this other Romulan warbird. For 9, which makes... which is not 25%, but it is over 50. Which means they are now shaken. Okay, cool. So, what happens at the end of all that? Unless Dr. Akiva has something she wants to do. Like I said before, Dr. O'Keefe, if you can't find something you can do in your current station, you can try and rush over to somebody else's station to take control of that for a bit, but if you do try and do something that somebody else has already acted on, then it just becomes more difficult to do. Like, for instance, if Dr. O'Keefe wanted to shoot more of the weapon systems again, the difficulty would be 4 rather than 3.
Can I scan for weaknesses?
You can try and scan for weaknesses, absolutely you can. Which ship? There's only one ship left, really, I suppose, so yeah. Forget I said that. I'm gonna tilt these like... move these guys slightly off kilter then to show that they are out of the fight for now. 2, scan for weakness. You want to use control and science, 2 dice, and can I have El Capitano, Captain Jevax, can I have Connie be the ship in order to give us sensors and security, please?
Using sensor operations as a...
Okay, 2 successes from Dr. Okitha. If is Connie, you able to? Yes, you are. There we go. This is a warship, not a science ship. Nevertheless, that was on the money too. So you have a choice. You can either let your weapons gain the piercing quality, which means it ignores resistance, or you can up the ship's weapon damage by 2.
Piercing quality.
Piercing. Knock right through their resistance. Alright. Which means that the Romulans get... There you go. They are now going to try and regen some shields. Whoops-a-daisy, wrong one. That one there. Oh. What's going on? It changed. Oh, it didn't know I had selected a ship. Let me try that again. Select that ship. There we go. That works. That's cool. We are looking for structure and engineering to try and regen some shields. I've got no threat left to me. One success? Is that enough? Operations. Difficulty of 2. No, they don't get their shields back. Well, they've got shields, but they don't get any more shields. Alright, and I've got no threat to be able to do anything more with that. Okay, cool. Alright. End of round 3. So, end of round 3. The Venture, the planet that the Venture is trying to hold back, is still lumbering forwards, and pieces of it are now starting to crack off as the gravity well of the Candidate 3 planet is starting to affect it, and of course the gravity waves coming off of the wormhole itself. So pieces of the planet are starting to break off and are travelling towards the Candidate 3 planet as asteroids. So the shuttled down crew members of the Thunderchilde are now having to deal with the fact that there are now huge rocks starting to bombard the surface of the planet. The Venture is likewise suffering from an overload in a lot of its power systems now. There are decks that are on fire, and the ship itself is straining under the effort. The Thunderchilde, meanwhile, with all of its shuttles and personnel disgorged, is not raising its shields because now some of its shuttles are coming back. Not all of them. Some personnel are remaining on the planet and appear to have headed towards the hyperstyle hall, which was where you found Assessor Tredic before. So it stands to reason that members of the Thunderchilde crew have made contact with Assessor Tredic. The Romulans didn't get a chance to disgorge any of their shuttles, and just to make sure they can't, the Thunderchilde turns its own weapon systems, and because you knock down their shields, they essentially turn their rapid-fire torpedo launcher to send a hail of torpedoes off to this stricken Romulan Warbird and just obliterate it. So the Romulans in that ship, done. There's not a possibility they could sneakily try and launch any crew down to the planet. So the remaining shuttles that the Thunderchilde are starting to shepherd up, you imagine, are full of artifacts, whatever they can salvage from the planet that they're bringing up. But the planet itself is now suffering serious geological instability as the gravity from the incoming Orgone 3 is starting to seriously affect its tectonic stability. There's evidence that a lot of structures are now starting to fall over. Cracks are opening in the planet below. This planet does not have long left to it. So whatever personnel are from the Thunderchilde are on the planet are probably looking to evacuate sometime very soon, because the longer they're on the planet, the longer they risk being hit by gigantic balls of rock or something falling on them. The other ship, in the meantime, let's see how they do. The Warbird that seems to have betrayed its fellows opens fire again. So I'm going to see how well they do. Using weapons and security. I've got nothing to add to this, so let's see how they do. 4 successes. Which doesn't go to me because they're an ally of yours, but doesn't go to you because it wasn't you doing it. 4 successes means that they can pile on an extra 1 damage, which means that does how much? 10? Which you guys like to do. Which means that Romulan Warbird is now taken down to half shields, but they're not doing so hot either. So at least this Romulan Warbird still seems to be partnering with you and is pummeling the shields of the other one. Which brings us to round 4. You guys get to start again. You've got 3 momentum in the pool. What would you like to do? Your weapons for the first attack. First attack?
First of 4.
Same again.
How long does
Captain?
that last?
Rinse and repeat.
Give me a sec.
Rinse and
Just
repeat.
Pardon me, I talked over you there, but sensors. How long does the sensors succeeds? The next attack against that ship gains the piercing, so the next attack will ignore the resistance of the Warbird. So just the one. So what would you like to do? You don't need to scan for weaknesses because Lieutenant Lakeitha has already done it. Your ship doesn't have much in the way of shields left. And, yep, all of your systems... Only your sensors and engines haven't taken breaches yet.
I think the captain directing us, we can take out this last one. We've got... Is that flanking, technically?
Ish. It's just it's not offering you any bonuses per se, it's just shooting at that Romulan Warbird as well.
We should be able to take that out, like, with the same sequence we've done before.
Hey, if it ain't broke.
Might as well just take him out now.
Uncontested evacuation for the Thunder.
Child.
Yeah.
Right, so that essentially means we play the same hit, which is Captain Qe'Bach takes his turn to direct your tactical officer, Qe'Bach to open fire, which means that Qe'Bach can use control and security, Captain can use control and command, and the ship, which I think we can ask Chris to be this time, unless Dave wants to do it.
No.
Nope, Chris is. The Do Qe'Bach can give us weapons and security as before to unleash hell upon the Warbird.
Boom.
Boom, indeed. Nothing from the captain.
Oh.
Oh,
But we get 4. against 2, which means you get 2 back to the momentum pool. So, that is a hit with 9 damage using your disruptor cannon.
Take 1 momentum so I can shoot again.
You don't want it to do any additional damage?
Not for now.
Not for now. Okay, so that ignores its resistance, does the full 9 damage. Excuse me, knocks its shields all the way down to that, which means it was already shaken thanks to the other warbird, which means it suffers a breach. It's only got 1. it's what does that equate to? Yeah, 1 out of 21 left on shields.
And so we perform it again.
So you need to spend momentum to do that?
I've already taken it.
Already taken it. Alright.
And I'm going to take another momentum to roll 3 dice.
So, Chris, once again, can you just roll the same thing you just did for the Do Qe'Bach, please?
Yep. Bear me a sec.
4 successes! Oh my god. 5!
Have one more.
Go on, have another one on me.
1, 2, 3 momentum back to the pool. You have a full momentum pool. Well, it's not piercing anymore, so it does count the ship's resistance.
Let's make it 1 more.
You want it 10?
10.
Which means its shields are gone. It takes 3. It's not quite out of the fight. It's badly, badly damaged, but... Alright, that was the captain's go.
Do we want to seize the initiative to get the shields up?
That's a good question. Do you want to spend 2 momentum to get your chief engineer to get the shields back up?
I'm making put this down to a science now, haven't I?
Yes.
Yeah. And then once their turn's over, the helm officer goes, and then we seize initiative and have the technical officer go. And that should be the end of their
That should be the
Shit.
end
can
of
only
their
seize-
existence as they know it. Okay, let's see how we do. You are... So... Somebody take 2 momentum out of the pool to represent you seizing the initiative. Looks like Mark's already on it. Okay, cool.
There we
Which
go.
means your chief engineer, Lieutenant Shalatha, needs to make a... What was it again? Regenerate shields. Control and engineering check. Dave, if you can be the Do Qe'Bach. The Do Qe'Bach
signature
needs
move.
to roll structure and engineering 1 dice. Ooh. Might need to make this a success. So this becomes a... Ooh. Now. Okay. That was only 1 success. You needed 2 successes to regen shields. So you can succeed at cost.
We might as well.
I ain't gonna
We need
determine
shields.
or anything, so yeah.
You need shields.
Succeed
in
at
which
cost.
case
Yeah.
you succeed at cost. Bring 3 up. But I am going to say another shield emitter burns out, which means your maximum shields are now reduced down to 18. As Shalatha is furiously trying to cool these shield emitter coils fast enough that you can bring some shields back online. But in so doing, some of them overload and go pop, so that they're like a fuse popping out. You can't use it again until they're replaced. So you do get some shields back, and you can spend momentum to get more back. So for every momentum you spend, you get 2 points of shields back.
Take it all.
You want to spend all 3 to get 6 shields back?
What are we on at the moment?
7 out of 18.
Yeah.
I think so.
We should, yeah.
Alright, knock off that
We'll get more
momentum.
momentum.
as Lieutenant Shalatha surges power through the remaining shield emitters. Your momentum is gone. The Romulans' turn. Well, this is... yeah. What a choice. What a choice. Their shields are out. They really need those shields back. Romulans are a bit cowardly, so they are going to try and get their shields back. I've got no threat to spend, so if I balls this... Nope, they manage it. They do get one back. Which means they put...
A small number before we blow it away.
Teeny tiny number. Let's spend that to at least give them a little bit more. So they get some shields back. Your turn. So, your tactical officer, your helm officer... Well, your helm officer can act when the tactical officer acts, as well as your science officer have yet to go. If you want your next attack to have the piercing quality and go through its resistance, then your science officer can act first, but that will mean that the Romulans get their chance to shoot first. So what do you want to do?
Pew pew?
What do
Yeah,
you
pew
value
pew.
more?
Sadly, Pew Pew won't have speedness.
Yes, it will. You can act with me.
If you're doing an attack pattern, then yes, you can assist the attack roll.
So same. So with a repeat attack.
Yep.
3 or 4.
All right then.
True. Yep. Just with focus, and so it's Bonnet in the ship.
So
That's
Dave,
cool.
once again, if we can have the ship do weapons and security.
Oh, hello.
Whoa! Bonnet.
You know what? I'm gonna. Bonnie's gonna use her determination to reroll at 18,
Ooh,
using
okay.
a pilot trust her instincts.
Dave, you able to roll for the Do Qe'Bach, please? Marvelous. And ooh, even the Do Qe'Bach is getting a bit worn down. But that was 5 successes because Mark rolled double ones. God damn! 5. You only do so. 1, 2, 3. Momentum pool is back up to half.
Add 1 damage. Take 1 for fire again.
Their shields are gone once more, which means they are now shaken. You've spent a momentum, you want to fire again, but this time it's without Bonnet's help.
The reason I left 1 momentum in there, so I could take it to roll 3.
Dave, roll it again for the ship. As Mark, roll it again for Trigok. What do we get? Oh my god! He's really good at pressing that button. Ooh, hello!
Ooh.
Well.
Ooh,
Well.
no, that's veteran. Nope, I got nothing.
Okay.
Sadly, it rolled on the one time I could that I wasn't helping, so I can't use my Legion of Honor to negate it.
Unfortunately so, but nevertheless, the attack does manage to go through a second time, which means it does... you got 3 successes, which means 1 over and above what you needed, so you do get 1 in the pool. It does 9 damage ordinarily, unless you're pimping it to 10, though I don't really see the point.
Don't need to. Oh, I can't do anything. Nope.
Okay.
Yep, keep that 1 momentum just in case.
Okay, so 9 damage from your disruptor cannon means that it does 3, which means it does more than enough to obliterate that warbird. Kaboom! As it just comes apart. But In so doing, you send an overload through your already damaged weapon system. So I'm going to throw a breach into your weapon system. Not enough to destroy it.
Ooh. Where's it going?
What that? The ship's...
What? It took a big shock, apparently.
What
The poor
happens to
Qe'Bach.
your weapon system? Let's see. I'm gonna roll. Ooh, I got a 1. The ship's energy weapons have been affected, limiting their ability to... So, yep. Your disruptor cannon has run hot to the point where it is melting. If you try and use your disruptor cannon again, it is probably going to suffer a catastrophic failure. Nevertheless, right, okay, blimey. Let's see where we find ourselves. Let me get past this a sec. Right. Okay. Dr. O'Keefe, at your station on the sensors, the planet, Organ 3, is now perilously close to impacting with the Candidate 3 planet, and is showering it with debris. But from within the wormhole that spewed it forth into this system, your sensors are detecting a massive spike of energy. So, overall, wherever you are, whether on the surface of the dying planet, or at your assigned station, or fighting off the last of the Warbirds, you all see the following phenomena unfold before your eyes. Which means I need to change the ambience here a bit. The massive beam of energy that the Venture is pushing out through its navigational disk changes colour and then freezes in place, then spins in a glittering swirl of prismatic light. Rips and tears in space open up before you, spilling out every colour of the rainbow in every possible direction, cycling through the spectrum into countless hues and shades you never thought could exist, and which carry the odd scent of 100,000 species of flowers. These multiple swirling vortices on the planet and aboard the starship you're currently aboard are all approximately humanoid-sized. Even those appearing in space are large enough for even a Galaxy-class vessel to pass through. As you take in the spectacle, a feminine form appears within each vortex simultaneously, presenting the same message to each of you at the same time. As before, this is a tall humanoid alien, clad in a form-fitting dress which appears with what appears to have wings on its back, and a small sweeping tiara atop their head. They have short dark hair and wide open eyes that are solid blue, with no evidence of an iris or a pupil. As they take full shape within the shimmering light, they reach a hand out towards you, either in greeting or in supplication. And I'm gonna go over. actually nothing. She speaks. Friends, well met. I am Ashtamalia of the Displaced Tilikal. My people and I need your help. We have been trapped for countless millennia in this broken dimension, and we must escape. The prismatic lights flicker, nearly go out, and then surge back. The stress on Ashtamalia's face is palpable as the light flickers, as if they're making some great effort to keep the vortices open. We are out of time, she says. We cannot further hold open the way. Take my hand, please. They reach out their hand to each of you simultaneously, somehow being able to appear in multiple places at the same time. Even through the ship-sized portals, they reach out a massive, glowing hand. What do you do?
Take their hands.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Why?
Klingons aren't afraid.
Yeah.
Chubane, they look like angels from the ancient religion of Earth.
Chris, is Shalatha taking the outstretched hand offered to him? Her, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. You all clasp the hand of the form in front of you, and with an expression of profound gratitude, the figure, calling it herself Ashtamalia, pulls you into the prismatic vortex. So what essentially happens is that even though there is a humanoid figure standing in front of each of you, what happens is from the large vortex from which spewed the planet Organ 3, a massive blue hand also reaches out through there and takes hold of the Do Qe'Bach and starts to pull the ship, as well as yourself, at the same time that it pulls yourselves through the vortex, and you disappear from the known universe. And that's essentially where we're going to end things for you here, because that's all that you know happens. As the Do Qe'Bach and its crew all get drawn into whatever's on the other side and disappears. So, we have an interesting situation has now developed. So you still have the crew of the Combs, obviously, who are back at Narendra Station. And they will more than likely hear of what happens. So in that regard, what happens from the Combs' point of view is that a couple of hours into the departure of the fleet, they get a communication back from the Do Qe'Bach saying that the plan's gone somewhat awry, and so they sustained some heavy damage, it's mostly structural, from unexpected gravity waves that pummeled the ship. And so meant that the ship was in a lot worse shape. So maybe someone should perhaps send some additional help just in case. So would the Combs crew, do you think, set forth to try and help out and go as fast as they possibly could? Or would they remain trusting in the Venture and the Thunderchilde and the Do Qe'Bach to achieve their mission? They are your main characters. What do you think they'd do?
I think they would
It's
go.
our house. Yeah, it's our house.
Okay, so that's 2. Do the rest of you agree? I'm hearing neither objection nor confirmation, so I'm going to go with
No,
I assume nobody has any reason to say no to that.
Yeah, so I agree.
Okay. So the Combs sets out maximum warp. We know that an Intrepid class can go pretty dang fast when it really pushes itself. So it took 7 hours for the fleet to arrive in the Candidate 3 system. We'll say that the Combs pretty much pushed the ship to the absolute limit, and the Combs itself appears in the system within 6 hours. Its engines probably screaming and overheating. So Tavish would have had a pretty harrowing 6 hours, all things considered. But when they arrive,
I haven't got any more hyperspanners left. Still broke. No 6 hours.
Your crew is the engineering crew is like, thank goodness.
So what the
And they're probably
Combs
sending
crew
requests,
finds-
don't give her more hyperspanners.
For some reason, the replicators on the engineering deck have failed to produce hyperspanners. It seems the
Don't worry,
pattern
I'll
has
hack
been
into
removed
it.
from the database.
It's alright, I'll hack into it and put it back on.
Nevertheless, when the Combs crew, the Combs itself arrives in system, what they find is that the planet Orgun 3 is pretty much on imminent collision with the Candidate 3 planet, but the Thunderchilde has managed to evacuate all of its personnel and has got a force field on the Venture and is towing the Venture. Sensors indicate that the Venture has suffered near catastrophic levels of damage to its power systems, to the point where they had to shut down the warp core in case of a breach. And they used what little power they had remaining to nudge the ship out of the path of Orgun 3 before it collided with Candidate 3. So there are multiple casualties on the Venture and lots and lots of overloaded power conduits damage to the Venture. Plasma fires are replete across most decks. The strange, not rebellious, the turncoat Warbird sends a final signal broadcast to all of you on a Starfleet secure channel, saying, "Thanks for the support. We'll put this in my. We'll put all this strangeness in a report for you to read at a later point. In the meantime, I can keep using this. So thanks for the help. Yours." Oh, what was her name? I've forgotten the name of the agent in the Romulan Warbird. Good lord, I found it easy enough before. Why can't I find it now? Sigmund. Sigmund is the name. If you want to know who Sigmund is, you're probably going to have to look that up later as the Romulan Warbird warps out. Somewhat clumsily, you notice, still having damage sustained to it, but warps out nonetheless. So the Combs crew are given the appraisal of what's actually happened here from Captain Matsuda. Captain Corbett is unfortunately dealing with the high levels of damage to his ship and the fact that a number of his crew have been injured or killed from the effort. Captain Matsuda tells you that some of his crew members went down to the planet and made contact with Assessor Tredick. Apparently, Assessor Tredick mentioned something about he was failing in his... Well, I say his. They were failing in their mission to protect their charges. Which apparently, on the planet, were thousands upon thousands of stasis sarcophagi, which held within them Tilical bodies, all of them alive, but they were, like I noted, in stasis. With the assistance of the crew from the Thunderchilde who went down to the planet, they were able to help repair the system, which allowed Assessor Tredick to transport all of these stasis sarcophagi off to somewhere else. Assessor Tredick was not able to say where because he was busy using what little remained of Candidate 3's planet's technology to shield the crew of the Thunderchilde to help them get off the planet before the two planets collided. So the planet collision is currently ongoing and is going to produce a massive shockwave, not to mention spread debris throughout this entire system. But of course, Captain Matsuda will also tell you that of what happened with Ashtamali of the Tilical appearing before everybody and asking them to take her hand. And it seems the crew of the Do Qe'Bach did so and got pulled in, ship and all, into the vortex. The vortex closed behind them. So, the Combs crew are left with quite the situation. The crew of the Do Qe'Bach have vanished, no one knows where or if they'll come back. This system is about to be a mess of planetary debris, so assisting in towing the Venture out will be probably necessary. You're going to need to warp out of the system very quickly because it's about to become dangerous. But one last piece of unfortunate news that you do get is that Captain Talbot's first officer, Commander Rozek, was killed whilst trying to save some of the crew because plasma fires burn hot and I've forgotten the species. What species was Commander Rozek again? He was a benzite who an aquatic species, and therefore they can die if their skin dries out. They get dehydrated very easily, and even though he knew that, he still broke into an area of the ship where there was a raging plasma fire so that he could rescue crew members who were trapped in there. But in doing so, the heat dried him out and killed him. So Captain Talbot at this moment in time is grieving his first officer, as are most of the crew of the Venture, and indeed everybody who knew Commander Rozek, which includes yourselves. So I don't know how you guys, how the Combs crew feel about the passing of Commander Rozek. I'll leave that for you to determine. Nevertheless, you essentially are able to get back to Narendra Station, towing the Venture between the Thunderchilde and the Combs, and report the situation, which is that you now have friends, the Do Qe'Bach, missing in action. What happens to the Do Qe'Bach? Well, We'll have to find out next time, won't we? Because that'll be the subject of our next episode. And we've essentially come to the end of this episode right here, so we're going to be ending a little earlier than we usually do. So if you guys have anything to add, now would be the time to. Any questions, observations, or notes about what your characters do next? Before the next episode. Nope. Okay.
All good, I think.
Alright then, so we're going to take our usual inter-episode break, which means that we'll be missing next week and be coming back on the 22nd of March if everybody's available.
Yeah,
that works, because I can't do next week, so perfect.
Excellent.
I may not be able to do the 22nd of March because it's like the weekend before my birthday, so I will let you know.
So possibly
The funny
no
part-
Dave.
The funny part is, if we would have been on the 15th, that would have been the weekend after mine.
Woo! There we are then. Folks share birthdays here. No wonder you get along. Right, what did I just... something didn't quite work there. Where are we? We are the 8th. No, it did work. Nice. Okay. So potentially you are not here for the 22nd. The 29th, though, you should be okay, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll at least get... if it goes over onto two sessions, then you'll get the skinny on what happened, I am sure. So next Sunday will be Pathfinder instead of Star Trek. So, yeah, groovy. So, thanks to everybody who popped in, if they did. Davy Jones' show popped in ever so briefly, so thanks for popping by. In the meantime, we will see the Combs / the Do Qe'Bach, mostly the Do Qe'Bach crew, in 2 weeks' time to find out what they see when they go through into the next realm. This is going to be interesting because their ship is falling apart. So
I reckon this mirror universe, and we're all going to be very civilized, nice Klingons.
Heavens forfend. You aren't Klingons! This place is far too tidy. Well, you never know. We shall have to wait and find out. So, until then, thank you guys for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube and you enjoyed this, consider giving us a like, because it may tilt the algorithm in our direction. Who knows at this point? In the meantime, do as the Klingons do, which is defend your allies and their from all who would seek to hurt them, but also, help out those who ask, because that is a noble pursuit. The world needs more noble, helpful people in it these days. Until then, glory to your houses. May honor find you however it finds you, and we will see you again in 2 weeks' time. Until then, bye-bye. Hailing frequencies closed.